Hey, this is week 2 of working as a manager at Pollo Campero. Today I'm going to be trying to do a better video from the criticism from the first video and trying to talk more about, you know, the store, recording some stuff inside of it to give you guys a better perspective and the ups and downs and what I think about working there so far. So we're just finishing up week 2 and I'm going to be honest, it's a lot more than I thought. And just to run this back, my first week working at Pollo Campero, I was mainly in the kitchen, and I'm gonna be honest, I think I just died in that kitchen because it was hard. I don't think I've ever worked the kitchen as hard as that before, even when I used to work as a dishwasher and when I used to work as a waiter. I've been in a restaurant before, but I've never actually worked a kitchen like that, and it's always so busy at this location because it's top 5 in America for busiest locations, and since I'm working on the busiest days too, it is brutal, especially for my graveyard shift. And so that is how my first week went. I'm gonna be honest, I probably would have quit my first day if I didn't know my trainer too well, and yeah, I was able to make it through my first week. And so with week number 2 coming up and finishing now, I have been working more towards the front end kind of the establishment. I've been trying to learn more about how they do the food process and the cashiers a little bit more, and this is where the problems come in from why I'm not qualified, I guess, to work here, which is mainly that I don't know enough Spanish actually to work at Pollo Camperos. And so originally, I said I understood some Spanish on the interview, and then that I used it when I used to work at Smoothie King as a store manager trainee. And I remember very few times I used my Spanish to ask the customers questions, and they're like, "Roman, you speak Spanish?" And it's like, not really, but I tried my best. ¿Qué quieres? What do you want? And then how much it would be in dólares y centavos, like how much the total cost would be in Spanish. So in my head, with me learning Spanish for a few years, I decided to apply for Pollo Campero. And when I went on the interview, I was asked, do I speak Spanish? I'm like, kind of. Not really. I was like, I'm not really great at it, but, I used it when I used to work at my old job. And, I have a Hispanic girlfriend who is my dentist also. And so, Roman, why don't you ask her to learn Spanish? Yeah, I've been trying more recently with trying to figure out what the game plan is for my life. And I've been trying to improve my Spanish somewhat, but the the necessary Spanish I need to work at this place is very far off from what I have right now. Even though I've been trying really hard to understand the menu, alitas is chicken wings, pierna is chicken thighs, pechuga is chicken breast, and musulo is chicken leg. Or no, pierna is chicken leg, musulo is chicken thigh, my bad. But yeah, I've been trying to understand the menu to the best of my abilities so that I can hear it when I'm trying to do the order. But because I'm not able to speak the best Spanish, actually understand, even the basics of Spanish, it would seem that when they're talking really fast, I'm not able to do drive-through. And just to keep that very short and simple, I'm pretty sure if I can't do drive-through, I'm probably not going to keep this job for long. And that kind of sucks. But that is my biggest concern right now. Other than I realized that being a manager at this place is very hard. I'm not the general store manager here, but since I'm running the shift and I have to know how to run the store like a general store manager, it's very difficult, especially when some people don't actually speak English at the place and only speak Spanish. So, I assumed everyone would possibly be bilingual, but, no. And I guess with it being so busy, I never really realized, I thought I was understaffed being by myself at Smoothie King when I would run the store. Over here, it's like you're understaffed when it gets too busy because, you're never going to have enough chicken during the rushes. And just yesterday, we were struggling just to have 20 pieces of chicken. It was kind of funny. Like, we had, you know, what, 7 people working, and the thing is, we just didn't have enough chicken towards like the last hour, and so we had to, you know, turn away some customers here and there and try to cook as much chicken as we could before closing. But yeah, it's a bit of a struggle. But I do have some funny clips and videos to talk about more what I've been learning. There's a list I have to do every few hours to make sure everything's running smooth and clean, and I'll show y'all some pictures here and there. Here is, you know, you gotta make sure that the fridges and the freezers and that the heaters are running properly, because it's a food safety issue. And when I took my food manager safety test certificate, it was very important to know these numbers, like 160 to 190 is typically what you want your heat at, like your meat, because that's when it kills the bacteria inside of it. And then, you know, typically with the freezers and the coolers, you know, your freezer has to be probably about like 0 degrees and then so forth, you know what I mean? But it's a very interesting position to be in, if I'm gonna be honest, because I'm so worried, not worried, but because I'm expecting to lose my job, even though they're very nice. I have been looking for other jobs, and I recently got an offer to be an account manager at a place nearby my house. Pretty nearby, not as close as this place, but it seemed like a good offer and a good business to get into, which was mainly just wholesaling. And I've been looking at other jobs because why not, you know? I always wanted to go back and try Korean barbecue as a server, maybe work part-time while I'm in school. But in general, I went down the management path, and due to me being a manager in my last 2 jobs, I ended up with the job I have currently. And how do I feel about the employees or the coworkers? Well, I think they obviously know. They like me, I think, in my opinion, because I have a good personality, in my opinion. I get along with them very well. But they also know I'm kind of like a liability, because I don't really speak enough Spanish to understand what's going on. Somewhat. I feel like I understand maybe 40% of the time what's going on. But yeah, it's not as amazing as I thought. And, you know, it's kind of disappointing. But I do appreciate the opportunity up to this point to be able to work there. And, you know, I mean, it's been a while since I put in that much effort to work at a place, especially with me working in the kitchen. Guys, I don't know if you guys have any experience working in the kitchen, but let me know your opinions working in the kitchen in the comments below, how y'all think about it, because I don't even know how some of them do it. Some of them have 2 jobs, working like 70, 80 hours a week. And it's just crazy to me that they're just busting it down in the kitchen, cleaning the grease traps with their hands. Like, I've never seen it before. I don't understand it. You know, my hands are very soft. I have a hard time carrying the hot trays with my bare hands, which they sometimes do. And I'm gonna be honest, those trays are like over 100 degrees. Don't really understand that. But, and then he goes, oh, it's not even that hot. But yeah, after that, other than learning how to count the registers, learning how to do the checklist, learning how to, I guess, get the food out to the customers properly, the biggest thing, or the coolest thing, I think, is at the end. I think I don't really stress this enough, but it's so messy at the end that it usually takes about an hour and a half to clean like the whole restaurant from start to finish. And it's a fast food restaurant, right? So you wouldn't think like, oh, you have to clean that much. But, oh, that's a huge ant. Wow, that's a huge ant. But I want to show some videos of the cleaning process. Like, it is just water, grease, and the grease are just everywhere throughout the store when it becomes closing time. And I'm gonna be honest, just to show y'all, like, I don't think that I'm crazy. The cleaning process at Walmart was you just went to the dishes and you just cleaned down your little table, clean the utensils, do the there's like a 3-step washing process, and then you basically just put your setup and you're done. And that would take maybe 30 to 35 minutes, on top of like throwing out the trash, so like another 10 to 15 minutes, but it would be no less than 45 minutes. At Smoothie King, you know, there's not really anything greasy there. So basically, you just have The mop, I guess you could put some degreaser on the floor and you could just like, you could bang out the store by yourself without really having to do anything crazy. And yeah, you would have to do the 3-step process with the dishes at Smoothie King, but it's nothing compared to this place. I mean, they're like washing things multiple times just to start it off. We got things that have to be reused because, you know, if we don't have enough chicken, guess what? We got to make more chicken. And you have to actually make the chicken there. As weird as that sounds, like you physically make the chicken. So that's probably why the chicken tastes really good. But since we have to physically make the chicken before we serve it out, we make it. And then, you know, we clean the whole thing out, the batter. I call it the batter compartment because that's where you put the chicken in the batter. You batter that thing up, right? So you'll be cleaning it out, because I used to work at the kitchen last week, and even when this week was going on, you know, we'd clean it out and then we'd have to make more chicken, which means we'd have to clean out the whole thing again. And it's like a 10-15 minute process just to clean it out by itself. And the problem is you don't have enough time. You know, you're trying to clean everything else in the kitchen. There's not really enough staff, in my opinion, to be able to do it like quick. So if you are behind another 10-15 minutes and you're already having to clean the whole side of your kitchen, and there's only like 2 sides, so we have 2 people working in the back of the kitchen, like 15 minutes is gonna cook you. And yeah, the chicken tastes good, but since there's so much cleaning going on, it's just really surprised me. And I've kind of gotten used to it. Like, my shoes are so dirty from working there. And like, I never thought my slip-on shoes would ever receive that much wear and tear from working any management job up until this point. And maybe I'm just being crazy, you know what I mean? Like, maybe this is how most restaurants are, and I've just been having some recent success with some easier management jobs. But yeah, that's where we're at. And even though I think the coworkers like me, I think my hours are really bad, in my opinion. I work weekends as of right now. I usually work about 5 days a week. Usually the 3 busiest days back to back, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I'm working from usually 4 to 11, maybe 3 to 11. But we never actually leave at 11. So it's usually like 3, 4 to like 11:30 to 12 o'clock at night, depending on how busy it is. And, you know, even though I like the experience of working here, and the chicken tastes amazing, fries taste good. I've been trying some new snacks, as you can see right here in this video. And yeah, a lot of the food here is actually really good. And I think it's probably healthier than most fast food options, but it's not like we serve a lot of food in the first place. But in general, I think the food's pretty healthy, tastes pretty good. I've been able to live off of it too, you know. But yeah, that's really what has been happening since week 2. This is beginning my 3rd week now, and I guess with me coming back to work today, actually, it's pretty interesting. I guess I worry that because my skills aren't good enough to work the cash register, I'm just eventually just gonna get fired. But I think this week that I'm gonna be learning, I'm gonna be checking out more of the safe, making sure the cash is all in order, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that is about it for this video. This is week 2 of me working at Pollo Campero, with some videos, me walking around in the public, the open. And what do you guys think? Do you guys think that working fast food was a good thing in your life? Did you ever work fast food? How did you feel about it? Have you ever worked at a kitchen before? What did you guys end up doing? Let me know in the comments below. Overall, I'd say the job is very hard and very demanding, but I also think that I'm not even qualified because of my Spanish. And I don't think I've specified this enough, but about like 80 or 90% of the customers are actually Hispanic. And even though they did tell me that in the interview, you know, for some reason, I thought I would only need simple Spanish. I've learned the menu, but I need to learn basic conversational skills to be able to actually work there. And yeah, if I continue staying, I'll keep making more updates for week 3. If not, I'll let you guys know what happened. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Roman, aka YoungBizWhiz, Have an awesome day. Take care. Peace. Whew. We finally did it. It's only like 11:30 right now, I think. What time is it? Is there a timer here? No. Whatever. It is currently 11:30. I'm gonna go home. Take care. Gotta close the store.